This video is about the number one mistake that I think everyone makes when it comes to personal development. I want to share with you what may be getting in your way. And by the end of this video, if I've done my job, you're going to have a huge aha moment and you're going to think, that makes more sense than anything I've heard.
Ah! Whoa! Whoa!
So let's get into it. Maybe you're like me. You have been to the seminars, you've had a coach, maybe you've got a mentor, you've been to some meeting groups or business networking, you've paid for seminars, you've gone to a week-long meeting of some sort of a topic that really gets you excited. You're like, yeah, I want to learn that about me. If you've done that, and then you sat back later and wondered, well, when does this kick in? When is it my turn to start lighting up? When do I start seeing the changes? I'm going to tell you why I think that is. And if this resonates with you, I hope it gives you just as big of an aha moment as I had when it finally dawned on me. Before we begin, please check out the description below. Andrea and I really care about how you do, and we want to see you succeed. So we've created a free PDF for you that talks about all of this, and there's some other resources in there. It's free, just sign up for it and get it. And then come into the comments and let's talk about it. I'd love to hear what you got from it. So what would you say the first thing is? I discovered was it's all about time. One of the things that I don't remember anyone, and I don't think this is on purpose, but something that I don't think I've heard anyone talk about is that it may take a long time for you to get the information in your bones and start to see the results. Time is not something that you can control when it comes to personal development and dealing with the real you. There's things inside of you that make you who you are. For instance, in about 12 years ago when I first began my personal development journey, I was in a very difficult situation in my life. And I wouldn't say that my environment was conducive to me feeling uplifted or ready to grow. What was great was, though, I was with people that I really respected. I was with people that were wanting to start businesses or were already successful businesses. I've met people who were self-made millionaires, and all of them loved doing personal development. They loved pulling people together and helping others grow, young entrepreneurs, people that just wanted to be better fathers and employees and whatever the case is. I'd sit with these people and I'd get so excited. And I've got so many notebooks like you wouldn't believe everywhere, all the things that I wrote down. But then there was this one thing that would happen. I'd go home all fired up and I was kind of like, well, when is the shift going to happen? When's it my turn? I watched people I sat with go on to do massive real estate deals or land a whole new contract for this huge business. They started to really thrive. And I wasn't seeing the thrive in my life. I was still continuing to work it out. And there's a reason for that, and that's the second point. You've got stuff in you that's going to get in the way, and let's just call them obstacles. The best way I can put it is that if you want to go from point A to point B, you have something in between those 2 points. And every one of us has different stuff in the middle of that point. If you're watching somebody go from point A to point B at lightning speed, they have a whole different journey and a life experience than you do, and that's just how it is. It has to be okay. That's one of the hardest parts about the stuff in the way. When you're going that way, things are going to be in the way or you'd already be there. You have to take a journey and you have to get to that place where you want to go. But to get there, you have to resolve the obstacles. If some of your obstacles are a difficult marriage or a really difficult job or your upbringing was very stressful, maybe you've got trauma, you've got abuse, who knows? Maybe it's just you're young and you're learning things and you just don't have enough, leaves on your branch. Whatever the case is, those things are going to invite you, come on, let's get it all out of the way. If you want to get to point B, let's get this stuff out of the way. One of the hardest parts for me was to just finally say, I can't make it go any faster than it goes, so it has to be okay. Better late than never, okay? Now, the third part of this is just sort of an analogy. It's called the 15 puzzle. Have you seen them? Yeah, I'll put it up. While you're trying to solve the puzzle with the one missing slot and you have to arrange all of the little pieces so that they finally get into order, that's kind of what happens inside of you. When you are engaged in growing and doing something real for yourself, one of the first things that happens in your nervous system is like, okay, well, let's start getting you there. It may take a minute. We've got to solve this puzzle. That puzzle may be insecurity. And then when you get that one done, what do you know? There's another one that's called doubt or fear. And so then it has to go and sort through all those. And so until you get the appropriate amount of these puzzles done, you can't get to the next place. You can't rush that process. You can't make it go any faster, but you can be more intentional. You can be patient with yourself. You can be loving, and you can just let the process be what it is. You just have to say to yourself, it is what it is. I'm doing my best. I'm not this person and I'm not that person. And that's point number 4. In your personal development journey, you are the only one that is developing in a personal way. This is about you. You have all of the why and the motivations and the reasons why you're doing this. We all know that. We all have them. You know, more freedom, more opportunities for my family and my kids, whatever the case is. We all have a motivation, but ultimately this is about you. That means don't compare yourself or your journey to anyone else. I'm telling you from experience, this drove me crazy. It's one of the things that used to eat my resources. It would consume. I'd sit here in my gut thinking about, well, I'm this age and now I should be here and I'm not here, but the people that I know are there. And look, the life they have, it's not the life I have. I'd start comparing and it would drive me nuts. Comparing yourself to other people isn't fair to you. They haven't lived your life. I just want to invite you to think about this. The things that make you who you are, the things that you've been through that have gotten you to be able to sit here and watch this video with me, they may have crushed those other people, but you've gotten through it. They haven't dealt with what you have, and vice versa. You don't know their story. You don't know their journey. And what's really funny is the things that we think we're comparing to other people, we don't even know if that's true within them. But we think about it a lot, and our resources go to dwelling on it. Let me give you a little Easter egg around that. This might encourage you a bit. There is a little secret in psychology. If you admire a trait in someone else, do you know why you admire it? It's because it already exists in you at some level, some capacity, some quantity. You have that resource within you, or else you wouldn't even notice it in anyone else. If you look at somebody and they have enormous discipline, you have it in you to be disciplined, or else you wouldn't admire it. So turn that self-comparison and trying to line yourself up with other people and turn it inside out and think, what do I admire about that person? Because that's something you can actually do something about. When you think about what someone else is good at, or at least you perceive they are, they may really suck at it. You've just created all this in your mind anyway. You then say to yourself, well, what can I do to be better at that? That's something you can do. That's part of your personal development journey, is to identify where these obstacles are, now that you understand it's going to take time and it has to be okay, and say, all right, well, that's something I can actually do something about. And whenever it may suddenly kick in and be real for you, and suddenly, boom, you're doing it, there's no telling. Just because other areas of development may take time doesn't mean that everything's going to take time. How does this land on you? How does this feel? Has anyone talked to you about this before? I wish somebody would have told me this. The little part about you've got obstacles between 2 points and you have to resolve them so you can get to the next one. That, when I realized it, changed everything about how I was feeling about personal development and the journey that I've already been on. There's victories along the way. There's changes along the way. And if you're honest with yourself and you look back, I'll bet you've seen more changes in you than you give yourself credit for. So if you have enjoyed this kind of conversation, Please like and subscribe, get to know us, and engage in the comments below. And let us know what you think. If you've got a different story of your journey, dude, we're all ears. We live for it, and we want to hear everything that's made you who you are. We want to participate and have this new relationship with you. So engage, and we will see you in the next video.
Ah! Whoa! Whoa!